What is up, YouTube? Back breaking down France, UFC, MMA. What an incredible night we witnessed, or day, should I say. Um, Insane stuff. What we saw 11 finishes out of 13 fights, 9 knockouts. I think most knockouts in a single event with 9. So that was broken, a record. And tied with 2 or 3 other events for most finishes in a night with 11. Incredible stuff. I think like 7 or 8 of them were first round finishes too. Just never felt like you could really get down and ready. Oh, I gotta turn off this music. Hold on. Wait. Let's go here. Um, all right, yeah, I gotta keep going. Yeah, insane fight night card. One of my favorite of all time, especially for a fight night card. It was that good. I think the reason why I can't definitively put it number one is obviously 317 was like almost perfect. And then also in terms of other cards, why I can't put it number two is sometimes when there's too many first round finishes, I feel like I can't get into the fight because it's already over um, within 2 or 3 minutes, if not less, maybe a little more. I'm fine with, like let's say we had 5 first round finishes, still 11 finishes though. 6 of them were like later into the fight. Like I would have been fine with that. I felt like, because you build into the fight, and I kind of like wars sometimes. I go to decision, they're back and forth. But either way, I mean, I'm just absolutely nitpicking right now. So we're just going to go and start with the first fight. We have Sam Hughes defeating Shauna Bannon by second round sub. I had Hughes by decision. That was my lock of the card. Granted, I did say decision as well would be the lock. So I half failed you there. However, I mean, this was just glaring. I meant Sam Hughes has been better competition, people with better ground games than Shauna Bannon, and she made it look easy. I think she controlled the whole first round, if I'm not mistaken. Did I watch the first round? I think I did. But either way, it doesn't even matter because she got it easily into the second. Just showed that there's levels to this game and the grappling of the strawweight division. And Sam Hughes' title run starts right now or continues right now. Let's see what kind of win streak she's on. She's on a 3 fight win streak, 2 split decisions, and then a sub. Ooh. Ooh, what do we do with her next? Strawweight. Weakest women's division. Ooh, I don't know about the weakest. That and what's it called? Bantamweight. Very weak. Obviously, we're not going to ever count featherweight. So, with that win, where's Sam Hughes? Moves up 5 spots on Topology. With that, let's do Sam Hughes verse. No, you can't do that. Who do you do? Sam Hughes. Sam Hughes, Angela Hill? Question mark. They probably won't do that, but I wouldn't be opposed. So let's do that. Moving on to the next fight, we have Renat Fakhretdinov defeating Andreas Gustafsson. First round KO. I had Gustafsson by third round KO, and he looked atrocious. I mainly bought into the hype through other people. Shame on me. I did think the gas tank was impressive in the Chaos Williams fight, but I didn't think the performance was that impressive. And then I saw other people breaking, not this fight down, but they were talking about this guy, and I'm like, you know what, this guy would be the type of guy, to give a lot of these top welterweights issues. After what I witnessed 2 days ago, no, I don't. I don't know what to think about this guy. He made Hinat Fakhretdinov look like an absolute crazy finisher, which he never is. He's usually a wet blanket. They're both throwing hands, but Renat just started kind of connecting, and then like Gustafson couldn't like evade, and just kind of just started eating shots. So tough, really tough. I don't know what Renat ranked. I don't know. I kind of don't care. What do you do with him? You know what I mean? This guy lost to Carlos Leal. I don't care what people say. He lost him. Maybe him versus Kevin Holland. I don't know. On to the next fight, we have Robert Brysek defeating Brad Tavares by third round KO. This might have been actually my lock of the card. I can't. No, I feel like I did say Sam Hughes, but I definitely was thinking this for sure. I had Tavares' decision. Brysek looked really, really good striking. Gas tank's an issue. Did he kind of showcase some grappling? I'm trying to remember. I think he did. But either way, you really, it makes sense. It really does make sense. I just did not think. I'm trying to think. I gotta think all the way back to 2 days ago. Yeah, Brysick looked better. Don't think still too much of him until I see improvements in the gas tank, stuff like that. But KOing Brad Tavares, even though it's this late in his career, is no easy task. I did have Brysick winning both rounds. I know he definitely won the first. Second was pretty close from what I remember. Oh, people on verdict, people had Tavares win round two. Why did I say? I think it was a really close round. I forget why. There was something that happened towards the end or the very beginning of the round where it was like a really big shot, and in that close of a round, I gave it to the Brysick there, but I don't know. Either way, great win for him. I'm not even gonna match this guy up. I need to see more first. On to the next fight, we got Sam Patterson defeating Trey Waters. First round KO. Wow. That was impressive. Sam Patterson's on a 4-fight finish streak in the UFC. I think he's tied with like Jacqueline Amarim, who I can't believe she has 4 finishes in a row. So, and she's a strawweight. And why isn't she in the rankings or being pushed up higher? I mean, we're not even going to get into that. So, great win for Sam Patterson. Man, welterweight is so stacked. I feel bad. I don't know where to put the guy, but let me see. Where could you put a Sam Patterson? Trey Waters is not that high level competition. Do we want to do my boy Leach dirty? We could do Leach dirty. We could do Max Griffin dirty. We could. They're not going to give him RDA. Themba Garimbo, something like that. Like these guys should should be next for a Sam Patterson, something along there. I don't know. Maybe a Chris Curtis, probably not. Maybe though. That would be a fun fight. That would be a really fun fight. I don't know who'd win that. But yeah, I have Patterson by second round sub. He did it by first round KO. It was a standing KO too. Um, I mean, this man's got finishing potential out the wazoo. So shout out to him for getting that done. That's huge. I do think he might be special, but I still need to see more. Like beating Trey Waters doesn't scream to me, future contender. Like it's just, but four fight finish streak in the UFC is pretty impressive. But like, I mean, what are we looking at here? We got Johan Linnaeus, who just actually I was gonna say gets KO'd by Augusta Win, but he beat him by rear naked choke. We have Kiefer Crosby, who's about to be cut probably. We have Danny Barlow, who is unproven, and Trey Waters. So, as much as I want to push him up because of how vital that four fight finish streak is, like we need to see him go up against like some of these tough guys right outside the division first, and kind of go from there. Moving on to the next fight, we have Kue Fernandez defeating Harry Hardwick by first round KO. I had Fernandez by decision. Hardwick did take it on 3 days' notice. Don't get me wrong, this guy has grit. I don't think this guy's gonna be a future contender. I know Cage Warriors usually has like these guys that come onto the scene. They kind of have big names: Taporia, Pimblett. Who else is Cage Warriors? There's more Cage Warriors guys that I'm not thinking of that are pretty hyped up, but I think he'll be decent. I think he'll be middle of the pack. Maybe right outside the rankings, he'll peak. Maybe he touches it. I don't know, but we'll see what happens. But either way, and he was up a weight class, to be fair, so I'll give him that. But on to Kue Fernandez. This guy arguably has some of the best leg kicks in the whole roster division, UFC. I mean, insane. He did the same thing to Guram. Nasty leg kicks. He's right up there with like a Jonathan Martinez. Uh, Ilya has nasty leg kicks, but like this guy Fernandez, like he touches you and it's like a problem. Like Hardwick couldn't use either of his legs, and he didn't even make it out the first. So great job for Kue Fernandez. I I will. Oh, what did we do with Kue Fernandez actually? Because he is on 3 fight win streak now. I think so many fighters in this division though. Let me see. Where is Kue Fernandez? So he's making his way up there. Um, who do you give Kue Fernandez next? This is tough. I think you gotta do Kue Fernandez versus Ishmael Bonfim. Just banger of a fight. Let's see it. We're gonna do that. On to the next fight. We got Anta Deliha defeating Marcin Tybura first round KO. Man has speed for a heavyweight. I was so shook. I've heard of this guy from before, long time ago. when Ngannou signed to the PFL, they were like, "Oh, the only thing you can do is Anta Deliha," and I was like, "Who is this guy?" Never really looked him up, whatever. And then heard about him a few months ago again when he joined the UFC or got signed, whatever. And I was like, "Oh yeah, I heard about this guy. This is supposed to be the boogeyman PFL outside of what everyone thought, and myself included, Henan Ferreira." Um, but no. So this guy comes in. I said by decision. I thought Tybora was going to be hard to put away unless you are Aspinall. Tybora usually fraud checks the first time guys and the rookies and everything, but Anta Deliha just showed levels in terms of quickness and everything and just blitzed him in certain moments. And once the guy out of the clinch and he just let the hands fly again, and Tybura was down, first round KO. And for Deliha, what do you do? Have they updated the rankings yet? They have not. So Tybura will move down. Deliha will probably be number 7. I'm fine with Deliha Blades. Run it. I don't want to do Deliha Pavlovich, but you could. Somewhat similar schedules. Actually, we haven't seen Blades in like a year. I don't know. So I'm fine with Blades or Pavlovich matchup. Volkov and Almeida needs to be decided for winner of next. And then Cirogan will be facing Aspinall. So there's not really much you can do unless you want to give him Cortez Acosta, but I doubt you want to do that. Probably going to, even though Cortez Acosta just lost, you're probably going to want to keep him around, give him somewhat of an easy matchup. Like, you're not going to want to kill off one of these guys. So we'll see what happens there. Heavyweight gains a new one, but still so much work to be done in that division for it to have like any relevance. But either way, moving on to the next fight, we got Umar Sy defeating Bernidson Robero. First round KO. At the very end, Sy gets it done, man. Rightfully so. I mean, this is what he should be doing. Not that he really has that much hype, but he was undefeated. He was a light heavyweight that was kind of quick, so there was some level of hype. So he should be doing this stuff. Losing to Menafield in a decision is not what you should be doing. You know what I mean? And that's not to take anything away from Menafield. It's just like you have all these, insane attributes and everything, and you gotta beat the Menafields of the world and all that. But it was a great comeback win. UFC gave him a layup. Obviously, they were like, "Hey, go out there, just get a win from the hometown crowd," and that he did towards the end of the very first round. Was it like an elbow that like knocked him out or something? It was ground and pound. I don't know. Um, Ibero had like a good like sweep though, from what I remember. Maybe scramble. I don't know. It was something. But yeah, I had side decision. That was the safe pick. Did it by first round KO. What do you do for a guy like this? Umar Sy, is he ranked? No, he's not. You already gave him a shot with the Menafield thing. I don't know what do you do with that guy? I don't know, man. Let's see. So Umar Sy. Dude, I don't know. I don't know what you do. Felipe Lin's still around? Yeah, maybe do him. I don't know. So I don't think you need to give him Dustin Jacoby. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what you do there, but yeah, Ion Cutelaba would be a fun fight. I'm fine with that. Something like that. On to the next fight. William Gomes defeats Hobert Huchala. Robert Buchala, whatever, or Shoya. I don't know how you pronounce it, nor do I kind of care, to be honest. But what did I score this? I think I did have 30-27 Gomis. I did. It was a close fight though. Round two and three. Um, wait, round three? I thought Ruchala won round three because he landed the head kick. Never mind. I don't know. So verdict has most people scored round two to Ruchala, but round one and three easily to Gomis. I don't know. Yeah, I can't really remember, but yeah, that was a good fight. Um, you know, I think it was this one where the crowd was booing, and it's like, I get it, but at the same time, it's eh, like they were just so spoiled. But at the same time, I mean, we'll talk about that in a second. We'll say that, but either way, yeah, Gomis gets it done by decision. That was what I had. Didn't know much about Richard. I just like that. Just feels like a William Gomis way to win. That was the safe pick, and that's what we did. On to the next fight, we have Axel Sola defeating Reese McKee, third round KO. I had McKee by second round KO. Um, Axel Sola got it done. I kind of tuned out though. I was on like an important phone call while this was going on, so that was pretty tough. But I saw like the first like round, maybe two rounds in this, and it looked like McKee had the volume, but he was still missing a decent amount. But he was stumbling Sola in moments. Um, and I learned I'm never betting Reese McKee again. Like, he's not good. They'll probably cut him though, so we'll probably be good in that aspect. But yeah, Axel Sola won. So France, you have a guy. On to the next fight, we have Mason Jones defeating Balaji Oki by second round KO. Boy, was I nervous. Balaji Oki sat down Mason Jones in that first round. But then Mason Jones, I think, dominated him on the ground for like the last half of that first round. Second round begins, and mind you, I'm still on that important phone call, so I'm not really paying attention too much. But I think just ground and pound just gets Balaji out of there. So another win for Mason Jones. Balaji should probably be cut, which is a shame because I thought he was actually kind of decent heading into that Chris Duncan fight. Yikes. Tough one. Maybe he just can't beat the UK guys. Who knows? But yeah, either way. Going on to the next fight, we have Modestus Bukauskas defeating Paul Craig by first round KO. I have Bukauskas second round KO. So close, bro. If Paul Craig doesn't try to pull guard here, whatever, just survives out that first round, I had it. Paul Craig's chin wide up in the air as per usual. Bukauskas was kind of starting slow, just really waiting for his moment. But he was not afraid to go to the ground with Paul Craig, and I kind of like that shit. Um, I like that a lot, honestly. I was a fan, so good stuff for Bukauskas. I think. By the way, that ground and pound elbow was one of the nastiest things ever. I heard that and I was like, "Oh, please call it." I didn't like before I saw Paul Craig rolling around on the floor. I was like, "Please call it." Like he's probably going to die. Like that was insane. Just like the thud. And then when they had the replay, man, I felt like I was watching a horror movie, man. I had like I don't think I was covering my ears. I don't think I'm that soft, but I was just like kind of like closing my eyes. I was like, oh man, that was nasty, bro. That elbow was crazy, bro. But yeah, either way, great win for Bukowskis. I would like to give him somebody in the top 15. I say you do him versus Zhang Ming Yang. Similar fight schedules. I don't know how quick Ming Yang Zhang is going to want to get back in there. UFC will also probably throw Ming Yang Zhang like Menafield next time because they'll probably want to keep him in the rankings. They won't want to risk it with a guy like Bukowskis, but I guess you never know. On to the next fight, the co-main event. Benoit Saint Denis defeating Mauricio Ufi. Second round sub. I had Hoofy first round KO. Wow. Boy, did I fall for it, I guess, technically. Might have fell for it. I mean, I said it in the video. I said if Saint Denis isn't dumb, he's gonna grapple and mix up the striking. Not only he did that, immediately as the fight starts, throws the body kick, sets the tone, and then from there just starts chipping away, then shooting takedowns. And Huffy had some decent scrambles. Don't understand why he stood up like out of the guard. I kind of get it, but I don't think Saint Denis is known that well for his bottom guard jiu-jitsu. Um, but I don't know. Huffy landed some pretty decent shots, especially in the second round. I think, even though I think Huffy was cocky and the whole fighting nerds thing is annoying and whatever, I think he still has a strong chance to come back and look really good because he showed flashes in there. Saint Denis just, had a great game plan. Kind of showed why he is top 15 caliber still. And I was just talking so much nonsense on him. So, shout out to Saint Denis for proving me wrong. Love when a guy proves me wrong, you know what I mean? It's my favorite. But, the grappling was just next level, man. I meant this guy, if this guy grapples more, I mean, he's gonna be an issue. He had the physicality, you know, the decent jujitsu. He just can't stand with people long term. Like that's what I think will be his downfall. Even though he has power and everything, he's still one of the slower heavyweights. He's one of the slower lightweights I've seen. He does keep his chin in the air, decent amount, but for how long he stand on the feet with Hoofy and then mixed up the grappling, that was decent. Good for him. I still think Joel Alvarez would give him a lot of problems, and actually, I don't know if I'd favor Joel Alvarez anymore. It's a 50-50. I don't think they're going to rebook that fight, but I was thinking about that because before this fight, if it would have been Joel Alvarez versus Saint Denis, I would have been like, oh, it's going to be Joel Alvarez like all day. And now I'm like, oh, that's like 50-50. Maybe I lean Saint Denis because of the grappling, but I don't know. We'll see what happens there if that even does happen down the line. On to the main event, though. Nasruddin Imavov defeating Cowboy Hio by decision. Called this to a T almost. I thought it was going to be a little closer, but it was not. 50-45 is ridiculous. I think Cowboy Hio definitely won round three. You could argue five. I still gave five to Imavov. I thought he landed the more damaging strikes. Four is Imavov all day. One is Imavov all day. Two is Imavov all day, in my opinion. Um, but one and two were kind of competitive. A little bit. Not really, though. Either way, this fight got me more hype for Imavov than the Adesanya win. This fight just kind of displayed a potential championship acumen I saw in Imavov. The hands, the teeps. Yes, he slowed down, but I do kind of believe him when he said he like tore his MCL or whatever, which hopefully he did not, and hopefully he just felt that way. But because if that is the case, we might not be seeing this guy for like another year, and RDR and Anthony Hernandez might skip him. Um, when after this fight happened, a few hours after the fight happened, after everything calmed down or whatever, I was thinking, I was like, what if he is the guy to randomly beat Hamza? Long shot. However, I don't think anyone would see it coming. Obviously, everyone thinks that Hamza's going to beat everyone, whatever. But a lot of people also think if there would be anyone to beat Hamza, it's going to be the winner of RDR and Anthony Hernandez. People are sleeping on Imavov, myself included. Not really anymore. I thought this Ohio win showed a lot more than people thought, and I don't think he put everything into it. The hands were nasty. If he can formulate a good game plan against Hamza, which I know is almost impossible because has like the greatest double leg of all time, but like at the same time, Imavov might be the one to get it done. I don't know if I'd pick him yet. I think it's way closer than people think. And I could see him. I'm not even saying flash KO. I could see like a decision win Imavov. Close win, but honestly, I don't think there'll ever be something close because they probably just give it to Hamzat since he's a star. But I think, as someone that's been on the Imavov train, hopped off, and then never kind of got back on it until like after this fight. Like I think this guy deserves his flowers. He definitely deserves title shot. I don't care what happens in RDR and Anthony Hernandez. I literally do not care. Imavov has earned it. You could argue that he earned it after the Adesanya win. I know middleweight's a little more stacked now, but he definitely earned the title shot, no doubt in my mind. So fantastic card. Great job for Imavov. Great job to the Frenchman. 5-0, taking out two fight nerds. Is the hype dead? Is the aura farming dead? I don't know. I don't care. We will see. I will let you know what I picked for Noche, which is this upcoming Saturday. Fights will come out, or breakdown will come out. Um, when is the breakdown will be out Thursday or Friday? Actually, Wednesday or Thursday, probably. We'll see what happens. But shout out to the French crowd. As much as they were booing and everything, they made that place so freaking loud. They made it feel like a soccer arena. They made it so cool in there. Even when like fights weren't being like insane, like could you imagine if Imavov would have finished Boyhio like at the end of the fifth round or something like something crazy like that place would have like actually caused a genuine earthquake and probably sunk the Eiffel Tower. But great card. They needed. I think they should. It sucks that we have to get to this point, but they should probably do France twice a year. There's probably a reason why they can't do twice a year. There's probably a reason they only do once a year. But um, yeah, I think you do in spring, you do in the fall. You have to reward good crowds like this until USA fans can stop being casuals and until Brazilian fans can stop being so disrespectful. I meant You just got to keep switching up between the European countries because they know how to run a crowd. So I don't know. I don't want to talk about it. It's whatever. But great fight card. I predicted 9 of 13 winners correct, only losing on it was like the earlier fights. I didn't get Renat, I didn't get Brysek, I didn't get McKee, and I didn't get Huffy. And then I had 2 perfects, and it was the only 2 decisions in Gomis and Imavov. So, you know, now we head into UFC Noche. But other than that, YouTube, it's been so real. I couldn't do the video games today. I needed to lock in. I need to spit facts. I need to speak my mind on such a great card that I witnessed on Saturday. And boy, was it worth it. But other than that, YouTube, it's been so real. I will see you on the other side of somewhere. Goodbye.